Hi, my name is Noshas. I'm going to show on the Spurs Video Podcast. Apologies for not doing YouShubes on the aftermath of the drawings of Panathinaikos, and for those who are absolutely delighted, especially those on Spurs Forum UK that I didn't do one. Yeah, congratulations, you got your wish, albeit a temporary reprieve. The reason I didn't is that I thought we dialed in our performance a little bit. The energy wasn't there, and the effort, and I think my YouTubes would have reflected that. So I just, not do a good job. Just don't bother doing it at all. So yeah, that's why I didn't. And do you know what? This is the same thing about UEFA Cup or the Europa League, you want to call it. The fact that UEFA have actually said to every manager, you must promote the UEFA Cup and say how wonderful it is. And those, no, what you're trying to say is, look, it was a wonderful competition before UEFA basically decided to appeal to to the bigger clubs and say, you know what, the real money's in the European Cup, so what's this sort? We'll extend it, call it Champions League. And at first it was just the first two clubs, the champions, and then it was just sort of, you know what, we'll put the first two. You know what, make it the first three. You know what, in some countries, we'll make it the first four, really. And that's it. UEFA devalued it. It's not the clubs, it's not the fans, UEFA devalued it. And therefore, if you devalue it, I don't give any precedence. I don't give it any importance. I understand that it is a game, it's competitive, and that's how I treat it as that. But priority has to be Premiership, FA Cup, and Europa League Cup roughly in the middle. Myself personally, I would have played as many of the kids as possible. Plus, for me, it's always been subs bench plus whatever kids you can find. I really do believe in that. I think kids are especially, because if you want to do is, how you want to progress, would you know what, start believing in them. If you start believing in them, do you know what, maybe they'll start believing in themselves. And more important, it's a challenge. Like, do you know what, here's the gauntlet. I am believing you, I'm putting my faith, I'm putting my balls on the line saying, I want to pick you to start. And that's up to you, do you believe in you? And that's it. Playing Old Trafford, I mean, that game reminded me of the Milan game, that second half. It was just the fact that it was last ditch defending. We looked absolutely exhausted towards the end. We were at 85th minute, we were exhausted. A day like that was when you needed a Scotty Parker. And do you know what? We were knackered, cream crackered, whatever you want to call it. And it's hard to produce that level of intensity, especially in the second half. You travelled, that's a 4-hour flight. You've had an incredibly exhausting tie, grueling tie against Man United. I don't think it's worth it. But I'm not the boss. I'm going to trust an AVB, and that's what we can do. Me personally, I'd have played Tom Carroll, Falke, all those kids from the start. I would have Hudderston Dawes played well, and I think the shit that's given at Dawes, I am tired of Spurs fans rounding on something. Oh, he's shit. But then the next minute, oh, he's wonderful. No, did Dawes have a bad game? Not really. Not. I thought he scored a goal. Defence held up well. Second half, we took our foot off the pedal, as we have the tendency to do, and we did that. And a good pass, a good run, and we played for our lack of clinical chances. And should we have had a penalty? Yes, I think we should have done. But this shit happens. All you can do is the results, and don't worry about what didn't go your way. Worry about by the officials, by some third party. What about what you are making to happen your way? And after that, everything else is just providence. So, on that religious note, and on that bombshell, let's move on. Playing against Villa, and this is an interesting tie. Villa are a team that I remember back in the early 90s we really struggled to beat. No, post the 1990s. I remember one game was at Aston Villa. They scored a goal. Yeah, they scored first. David Platt, I think, scored. I can't remember, it was David Platt, and then we scored two. I think it was some weird head tennis between Gary Mabbutt, and then he scored, and then Paul Allen, I think, got the winner or something. But the 90s, I remember it was Forest, Chelsea, and Villa. We just couldn't get results against them. No matter what we did, we would always lose. Somehow, we would always lose. And I think Villa over the last 7 years we've been able to beat. We've been beating them consistently. I remember that game last season with Big Ek and playing Alan Hutton at right wing. You can tell that was just containment. Obviously, Paul Lambert's come in. He's an excellent coach. Showed what we could do at Norwich. 2 consecutive promotions. And obviously, Villa have offered him a ton of money, and as well as a really big opportunity. So look, Yeah, show what you could do. Norwich wasn't a one-off. For me, Villa, their most dangerous player, really, from my opinion, is Darren Bent, who had a terrible season with us, absolutely terrible time with us. But Ben has to play at clubs where the team is built around him. You know, he's not farmless like water. You know, water, you put it into a cup, it can become the cup. You know, he isn't that. You know, he basically is what he is, and you must build a team around him. And before you could, let's put that as a criticism, Ballack was the same. Yeah, Michael Ballack, who did very well at Kaiser and then by Leverkusen and then at Bayern Munich. You know, same kind of player. The team was built around him, and not even at the low club level, at the national level as well. So those who select Darren Bent, I think it's unfair. He just wasn't a good fit for him. But I think he's a dangerous player, and we saw that they did. I think they can play pretty well. I mean, against Chelsea, they gave Chelsea a bit of a scare. You know, or say they can't do that same against us. So I think underestimate their peril. That being said, though, we should be able to get a result. We should, whether we will is a different thing. You know, I personally am hoping that we'll see Sandro and Dembele in the access. I think Dembele did suffer a little bit with Hudson because he's a passer and a sprayer. He's not a destroyer. He's not going to basically say, look, whatever's in front of me, you're like, hey, my friend, you're bringing the ball into my territory, man. I'm gonna, do some jiu-jitsu, take you down, kind of bound past the guard, doing my blood. That's a really bad Brazilian accent, but I think you get my drift. Especially if you know Brazilian jiu-jitsu, the whole idea is. You're not. Yeah, he's a ball winner. He's tigerish. You piss off that tiger at your peril. He'll bite. So I think once those two united, I think they'll play very well. I am not that impressed with Clint Dempsey. I know he scored the winner, but for me, he doesn't. I don't know. There's something. I think maybe we've been spoiled with Van der Vaart, and his obviously because he has some incredible stilt touches, and I think obviously with Van der Vaart, Rafa, he could actually he'd only go for about 50, 60 minutes and then he would tire. Dempsey, you don't actually have to worry about that, but I think that what Rafa did with the ball, I mean, he was just an artist. And for me personally, I don't think, he's, Clint. Well, now I'm going to do a Clint Eastwood impression. Really bad, but no, I don't think he's got what it takes. I really don't. I just don't. I see him going. I honestly do. I just think very much like Pina, some players just fit a club so well. And they fit in that mould, and I think when they go to a bigger club, they find it very hard to replicate their success. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I just think a couple of he'll have some decent games for us, but I don't see it long term. I'm hoping we'll play Siggy. Now, for those of you thinking, oh, he's a Siggy fan, look, I saw him play. Look, I mean, again, this is just friendlies, but this is a guy who scored 7-15 for Swansea. All right, maybe a second season syndrome. Maybe because he's playing for Tottenham now. Teams he will have less space because teams know what he can do. He's playing against Tottenham, but you know what? Team will go in less space anyway because he's Tottenham. They know what he can do. It's second season syndrome. But I believe in this player. I think he's got the talent. He's got the confidence. I just think it hasn't gelled yet. We saw that pass for Lennon against Reading. He's got an eye for a pass. He's also I think got an eye for a cross as well. For me, he has to develop just that. I think a better first touch. I think for him. But if you look at Jermaine Defoe, he's improved incredibly. And I think same for Siggy, he's got to improve his first touch because he can dribble the ball without a doubt. He can dribble and he can put dead ball thing. I just think he is that first touch was what sort of lets him down a bit at times. If you can improve through that just by that'll give him that extra 2-3 seconds he needs. That spot the pass, spot the shot, spot the goal even. So yeah, I would go for a 4-3-3. Bale, JD and Azar up front. Obviously Azar, it'll be interesting because he's been out of the international wilderness. He's now got his England call back up. How's he going to respond? We've seen Azar get complacent at times. I would like to see how it all peters out. I think he'll be inspired by it. Obviously. And JD's coming and saying, Andrew Villas-Boas has done so much for me. My ball work's improving. I'm a lot better because of Villas-Boas believing in me. So who knows? We'll see how it goes. Back 4 same as last week. That being said, though, I am tempted to ask for, and I think, and then those of you guys who watch it, who seen him play, Alan Smith, could he replace Kyle Walker? Because I just think Kyle Walker has been really not complacent. I think he's a good, he's an honest Yorkshire lad, but I think if here's how long I look at himself, the 2 goals we conceded against, Man United, were partially his fault because he was playing them onside. That string theory, the string was Bucko was bent, allowed Nang to stay onside. It allowed Kagawa to go onside as well. I think that's something he has to work out on his defensive line, holding that defensive line. But yeah, I just think hopefully I think we can get a 2-0 win. For those of you, I'm going to take it for the game. I'm skint. However, I will be jogging because I live around the corner from the Spurs ground. I will be meeting some of my mates from rival Spurs Forum at a club called the Coach and Horses, which is just opposite the Sainsbury's. I guess you don't know what that is. I'll be down there. You'll see me. Big thing that says "shove" on my back, and hope I'll see you down there. So yeah, on that bombshell, let's move on forward. Big shout out to who do I shout out to? Kevin G, who it was Mrs. birthday the other day, and so he's a great guy, and I love him to bits. He's like the brother, not my brother, another mother. And another shout out to who should I give a shout out to? Eggsy. I'm going to give him a shout out, and he's been a follower of YouTube's for a while. So yeah, I'd say thanks to him as well. Please click on any ad links if they decide to appear, and obviously Twitter me, FB me, YouTube, comment, inbox, all of it. I'm around, and yeah, as always, come on you Spurs.